Jamuhuri Day was a very interesting day. It turned out that there was a lot of chaotic scenes as well, but it ended up well where Talanta Stadium was to be renamed to Raila Odinga Stadium to pay homage to the former premier, which would say something that's incredible. But from the reactions online, a lot of people are saying let it end with Raila Odinga so that politicians should stop making it a habit of, them just being honored and being, being given respect for nothing while they were in office. They were embezzling and mismanaging finances and they've left people in abject poverty. But also what followed thereafter was an interesting moment, especially when the military is trying to showcase its, artistic, skills in terms of how prepared are they in terms of countering the enemy and, showcasing to the president that this is what we are made of. And shout out to the contingent that had been sent in Haiti. So it ended up that there was one of the fighter jets that flew closer to the ground, and it released an extremely earth-shattering sound that left property destroyed. Women were traumatized, and kids were crying and screaming left, right, and center. I want us to listen to that report by Citizen TV, and then I'll give you my final verdict on it. Let's go.
Skill and readiness to defend showcasing the defense forces' skill and readiness to defend the skies. But Friday's Jamuhuri Day flyover was somewhat unusual as the Northrop F-5 Tiger II fighter jet roared over the packed stadium. The celebrations took a frightening turn. President Ruto and other dignitaries instinctively flinched, sensing danger despite having seen such before.
Man, I'm shaking on their behalf.
The jet wreaked havoc along its flight path, especially in Nairobi West area. Windows were shattered, residents fled in panic, and homes were damaged.
Imagine out of the blue, you just hear some big noise and some, maybe like a blast when glasses break suddenly out of the blue. So far I don't think there's no damages regarding for health-wise injuries or anything, but it costs people a lot to repair the glasses and so on.
Yeah, that was unusual and just, bewildering and, very scary because I can only imagine the kids, so a lot of people actually don't pay attention to these things. These vehicles that have the vehicles, mostly the Subarus and the motorbikes that have the popping effect, that ultra culture, it sounds like it's fireworks and explosions. That thing traumatizes young kids. And in fact, animals as well. If you have chicken or even you have a farm where you've kept all this poultry, it traumatizes them mentally. It scares them to a place that they can't produce more milk. Cows hold back because they are afraid or they're scared. Pigs as well, including chicken, they can't lay more eggs because of that, traumatizing sound. So I can only imagine this coming from a fighter jet. And I'm scared. I'm watching the video and I'm shuddering and flinching on their behalf. I can only imagine how it felt to be there where that fighter jet exploded and released that earth-shattering sound. But the question is again, will the government compensate the broken shattered glass windows and the doors and all those that were there? I think they should put it in place. But one thing I can tell you for free is that you will wait for it for a very long time before they send an official to come and do damage assessment. You guys should be fasting and praying in Catalonia. But you know what? It's a lesson as well. This is not bizarre, so to say. It has happened even in the United States when they're trying to even launch their missiles and rockets. A fighter jet, they're called the F1. Is it the F1 or the F5? Now they have, they have an evolution series of those, and it's like a speed jet, supersonic speed, breakneck speed. It explodes in the air, it overturns, and you see pilots just, disintegrating into pieces. So it wasn't expected. I know this was not the intention, but to just show that this was our skill and everything. They flew a little bit too close, and according to aviation rules, FAA rules, I don't think they're allowed to. So they can sue. They can sue the military as well as the government, and they can be compensated according to our legislative laws. But it's gonna take you time. Fingers crossed. I'm praying for you.